Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up and just feel off? Not exactly tired, but not quite energized either. You move a little slower, things feel a little heavier, and even the simple act of getting started takes more effort than it used to. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. A lot of us notice these little shifts as we get older, how climbing stairs feels different, how focusing on a task takes more energy, or how something as routine as grocery shopping can feel like a full-body workout. And while aging brings wisdom, it also brings change. But here's the truth, growing older doesn't have to mean giving up control. In fact, the most independent seniors I know have one thing in common: they've built self-care into their daily life, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Today, I want to talk to you just like a friend sitting across the table over a warm cup of tea. Because what we're going to explore isn't just about taking care of your body, it's about protecting your freedom, your confidence, and your sense of self. And the best part? It doesn't require anything extreme. Just a few small habits that, when done with intention, can change how you move through the world. Let's start with the first one, and I think you're going to like this: morning movement. Not exercise. Not a workout. Just movement. The kind that wakes up your muscles, loosens your joints, and tells your body, hey, we're still in this together. Picture this: you wake up, stretch your arms above your head, rotate your ankles, roll your shoulders back a few times, and take a few slow, deep breaths. You take a gentle walk around your house, maybe out to the garden or just to the kitchen and back, moving with purpose. No rush, no pressure. Just giving your body the message that you're ready to own the day. One gentleman I met told me he walks laps around his living room each morning while the coffee brews. He said, I figure, if I can do 10 minutes before I sit down, that's 10 minutes I'm telling my legs they still matter. And that small effort? It keeps his knees strong, his back straighter, and his balance better than most people 10 years younger. When you build in this kind of gentle, daily movement, especially first thing in the morning, your body rewards you with more energy, better circulation, and even clearer thinking. It's a little thing that pays off big. And you don't need special equipment, expensive clothes, or a gym membership. You just need a few minutes and a little willingness. Now, once your body is moving, let's shift focus to something just as vital: hydration. I know, we've all heard, drink more water, probably 1,000 times. But let me tell you why this one matters so much, especially after 60. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable. That means your body might need water even when you don't feel thirsty. And when you're even slightly dehydrated, your joints ache more, your energy drops, and your mind gets foggy. Suddenly you feel more tired than usual, a little dizzy when you stand, or just not quite yourself, all because your body is missing the simplest thing it needs. A woman I know keeps a beautiful glass pitcher on her kitchen counter. She fills it in the morning with lemon water, nothing fancy, just a slice of lemon and cold water, and she makes it her goal to finish it by dinner. She told me, it's like a quiet promise I make to myself each day. I'm worth the effort. And you know what? That one pitcher a day has helped her avoid the fatigue that used to keep her on the couch most afternoons. You don't have to drink gallons. Just get into the habit of sipping regularly. Keep a glass or bottle where you can see it, on the table, beside your favorite chair, next to the bed. Let it be a reminder that caring for yourself is not just a to-do, it's a way of being. And speaking of caring for yourself, here's something most independent seniors never skip: protecting their sleep. Not just how long they sleep, but how well. Because good sleep isn't just about resting your body. It's about restoring your brain, your mood, and your resilience. Think about how much easier everything feels after a good night's sleep. You're steadier on your feet, sharper in your decisions, more patient with the little things. But when sleep is poor, the world feels heavier. Everything requires more effort, and frustration sneaks in faster than we'd like. That's why winding down at night becomes so important. Not staring at bright screens before bed. Not bringing worries into the pillow with you. Some folks I know light a candle, play soft music, or sip warm herbal tea. Others have a little ritual, maybe reading a few pages from a book or writing a quick note in a journal to close out the day. One man I talked to told me he started writing down one thing he was grateful for before bed each night. He said it helped him sleep better because it shifted his focus away from everything going wrong and towards something going right. It's like I give myself permission to rest, he said. And honestly, isn't that what we all need sometimes? So we've talked about gentle movement, hydration, and protecting your sleep, 3 simple, powerful self-care practices that so many independent seniors swear by. And none of them take much time. But they each send a strong message: I'm still here. I still care about how I live. I still matter. And you do. Every day you choose to care for yourself, in small, intentional ways, you're choosing strength over surrender. You're telling the world, and yourself, that your independence is worth defending. Let's keep that momentum going. If you're still watching and feel that these insights are meaningful, please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. When you start showing up for yourself in small ways, like moving in the morning, staying hydrated, and protecting your rest, you begin to notice something shift. You feel a little more present in your body. A little more steady. A little more capable. And that's exactly the kind of momentum we want to keep going. Because independence isn't just a mindset, it's a practice. One that gets stronger with every choice you make to care for yourself. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you. It's one of the most underestimated tricks for staying independent, and that's grooming. Yes, grooming. You'd be amazed how much confidence comes from something as simple as brushing your hair, trimming your nails, or putting on a clean shirt, even when you're not expecting company. You see, it's not about vanity. It's about dignity. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing someone who still takes pride in themselves. And that message, that feeling of I'm still me, has a powerful effect on your mental health. It reminds you that you haven't disappeared just because you're not running around like you used to. I once met a woman in her 70s who told me that every morning, no matter what, she puts on earrings. Nothing fancy, just little studs. But she said it's her way of showing up for herself. Even if it's just me and the cat, she laughed, I still want to look like someone who matters. That small ritual, a brush through the hair, a splash of cold water on the face, a spritz of a scent you love, it's not just about appearance. It's about claiming your space in the day. It keeps your sense of identity strong, and that's one of the best ways to stay emotionally independent too. And speaking of emotions, let's take a moment to talk about something we don't always admit out loud: loneliness. It sneaks up in quiet moments. Maybe when the house is too still, or when you realize it's been a while since someone reached out. It doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. It just means you're human. We all need connection, no matter our age. But here's the trick that wise, independent seniors know: you don't have to wait for someone else to reach out. You can be the one who makes the call, sends the note, waves to the neighbor. There's a quiet kind of strength in being the one who initiates. It reminds you that you're still in the driver's seat, that your days don't just happen to you. You shape them. One gentleman I knew, well into his 80s, had a habit of calling a different friend or family member every Sunday afternoon. Nothing long. Just 15 minutes to catch up and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you." He told me it gave him something to look forward to and helped him feel less forgotten. "They think I'm doing it for them," he chuckled. "But I'm really doing it for me." That's the kind of self-care that doesn't show up on magazine covers, but makes a world of difference. It reminds you that connection is something you can choose, not just something you receive. And when you start seeing yourself as someone who can offer care as well as receive it, it shifts everything. You don't feel passive. You feel empowered. And here's the thing, these aren't grand gestures. These are the quiet, everyday things that build resilience, like brushing your hair, picking up the phone, or sipping water instead of skipping it. They keep your spark alive. They make life feel more full, even on days that are quiet or slow. Because independence isn't about doing everything by yourself. It's about staying engaged with your own life. It's about saying, I still have a say in how this story goes. There's one more trick that ties all of this together, and we'll get to that soon. But before we do, I want you to take a breath and think, what's one small thing you could do today just for you? Not because you have to, but because it makes you feel like you. Maybe it's putting on your favorite shirt, even if you're staying in. Maybe it's stepping outside for some fresh air, or calling that friend you've been meaning to check on. Whatever it is, let it remind you that self-care isn't selfish. It's how we stay strong, present, and joyful, no matter our age. There's something beautiful about the way small acts of care can build a strong foundation beneath you. It's not about overhauling your life or becoming someone new. It's about honoring the person you already are and giving that person just a little extra love each day. Because staying independent doesn't mean being invincible. It means being in tune with what helps you feel steady, capable, and alive. And that brings us to one final self-care trick, one that independent seniors quietly swear by. It's the power of routine. Now, I know the word routine might not sound exciting. But it's not about living on a strict schedule. It's about creating rhythms in your day that support you. Things you do consistently, not perfectly. Things that bring you comfort, clarity, and confidence. I once spoke with a man who told me he starts every morning the same way. He opens the curtains, turns on the same music station, and does 5 gentle stretches by the window. Then he makes his coffee. That's it. But he swears by it. He told me, it reminds me that I still have control over how my day begins. That I'm not just reacting to life, I'm stepping into it. That's what routine does. It gives you an anchor. And when the world feels unpredictable, or your energy isn't what it used to be, that anchor can be the difference between drifting and standing tall. Think about what brings you comfort. Maybe it's reading for 10 minutes after breakfast. Or taking a short walk after dinner. Or journaling a few thoughts before bed. These aren't chores, they're gifts you give to yourself. They're signals that say, I matter enough to take time for me. And here's where it all ties together. When you hydrate, move your body, stay groomed, reach out for connection, and honor your daily rhythm, you begin to feel stronger, not just physically, but emotionally. You start to trust yourself again. To believe that even as life changes, your sense of self doesn't have to disappear. It's amazing how quickly these small changes build momentum. You don't need to wait for Monday. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to start with one small thing. Maybe today, you pick one of these habits and try it out. Maybe you already do some of them and didn't even realize how powerful they were. Either way, that's something worth celebrating. Because at the end of the day, independence is not about doing it all alone. It's about having the tools, the habits, and the inner strength to show up for yourself, in your way, on your terms. You've earned that right. And now's the time to use it. So take a moment to notice how far you've come. To recognize the wisdom in your hands, the stories in your eyes, and the strength in your steps. You're not just getting older, you're getting better at knowing what matters. And that's a kind of freedom worth holding on to. Before we end, I'd love to hear from you. What's one self-care habit that helps you feel more independent? Share it in the comments below. Your tip might be just the encouragement someone else needs today. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more gentle, practical tips for living well after 60. Here's to you, to your independence, your resilience, and your everyday brilliance. You deserve to feel strong, seen, and supported.